the reviewing the test, module 6. Main thing about module 6 is sorting and filtering. And of course, there's some advanced if function. So you're going to expect probably a little bit of sorting and filtering. So you need to know how to use them. Then how to use subtotal function, I believe. Either module 6 or 7, they introduce subtotal function as well as subtotals. This one is, when you say subtotal, oh, here we go, subtotal function, I'm sorry. Function is there, but working with subtotals is a little different. Subtotals is when you want to create totals, not the grand total, but something with, you know, for example, different range or different state, different grade of the, college degree, then you can have a subtotal for each of those. That's the subtotal. But your subtotal function is a little different. Subtotal function is the function that you're going to create by using subtotal, so that it's going to give you, for example, it's going to give you sum, count, average. All those functions can be used under subtotal function. So you can use this subtotal function, especially when you create filtering or some sort of other object that coming from other field, other worksheets, so that you can successfully manipulate those data into another worksheet. It's kind of, I need to explain with an actual example later on. But anyway, that's coming from module 6. Then also introducing dashboard, idea of dashboard. Dashboard is a visual representation of data combining with chart and graphs, as well as multiple functions. And that dashboard also can include other types of chart, like slicers. That's another type of user interface, kind of buttons that you can build into so that you can click, then something will pop up. So that's the idea of using dashboard in Excel. And I don't think we're going to expect this combining two cells or multiple columns into one. That sounds like a using can-cat function, right? But I don't think we're going to have those expecting in the actual tests. Rather focus on filter, sorting, or if function, or subtotal function, for example. Module 7, the main thing you need to know is those 3 functions, which is COUNTIF, SUMIF, AVERAGEIF. Okay, that's a variation from the count function. No, you can say if function, because kind of combining count and if. Same thing, combining sum and if, so that it'll count only those satisfying, condition on the if. Same thing. It'll calculate the total based on the if, find the average based on the condition. So that's those 3 functions you must know, and also you should be able to know how to create pivot table and pivot charts, as well as slicers. Okay, so I have a couple of sample tests, 2 sets. First set is here, the second set at the bottom. Those are some previous actual exams that I used. So I guess I'm going to just take on the second one, okay, so that we can go over. Then I'm going to go over this fleet in terms of the other example, which will basically deal with working with multiple worksheets. Okay. So again, this is the second sample test. So that's the Word file, and data file is right here that I'm going to use. So this is the directions that we're going to follow. And there's this. Yeah, this is the one. This is a data file I'm going to work with. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of set just like that so I can go back and forth. All right. So here we go. So the first set of questions. So starting from the Kane Smart worksheets. So I have product group in terms of different type of product. Region. Region is more of states. I think Colorado, Oklahoma, those states. Month, year, sales amount. Okay, so we have 5 columns. Then we're going to work with, basically we're going to create a, as you can see, pivot table, pivot charts, and then we're going to work with, yeah, I think that's a couple of set of questions first. The first we're going to talk about. Okay, so first thing here, in the Kane Smart, create an Excel table for entire area. Okay, so well, I said it's already a table, but you can also create a table within the table. So that's the Excel table will do. So we're going to go ahead, click Insert. Anytime you create an Excel table, then you're going to name it. Then you go to Insert. You're going to click Table at the toolbar. Then it's going to highlight whatever we have, in this range. Entire area is highlighted. As you can see, we have like a 364. So it is entire area is highlighted. Then you click OK. Don't try to change it unless you're told to do so. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. So now entire data set become one table. So whatever I change it here or apply here, then it's going to affect the rest of the column. So that's the advantage of Excel table. And also at the same time, it gives you this drop down, the filter drop down. So you can always just, get rid of it if you don't like it right here in this area. Table design, see that filter button. So let's follow that direction. So we're going to rename this table. If you look up here, the toolbar table name box is there. So you can name unique table here as this example item sales, one word. So typically Excel in this object name must be one word. Okay, so make sure there's no space between, one word. So we name this area now as item sales. Now we're going to format sales, accounting. Make sure there's no decimal places. Oops. Okay. Then step 3. Again, we're still here in this worksheet. We're gonna create a pivot table as you see. Okay. So if you kind of too small, you can always maximize. Because it's better for these pivot tables because what you see is what you get. So you try to kind of do it exactly what you have, right? So first of all, you need to create a pivot table. So go ahead and click Insert. Pivot table is the first from the left, the toolbar. Then you click, let's see whether we're going to create a new worksheet or existing. It says in a new worksheet, then we're going to name it as, what's the name? Region and year. So we're going to do it later on to name the worksheet here. But let's just name it, by the way. Region and the year. Okay, so this is the columns that we're going to deal with. See that we're here? So we're going to make it exactly like that. You can, of course, you can follow whatever it says, code direction says, create based on whatever column. But if you're not sure what exactly you want to do, you just copy exactly what we have. So I'm going to click region right here, right there. The year is selected. cells is selected, so I'm going to select those three. Then you worry about this section below so that you can adjust. For example, the year region is set right here in the rows section. So I'm going to make sure the year comes first at the top, then region right below, right? Then the value section, I have sum of sales. Looks good, right? So it's identical from the screenshot and my screen. So, and also, if you look at there, only the table looks exactly the same, except the dollar sign, okay? So there you go. So we have that. Then we're going to create a pivot chart. Actually, when you insert pivot table, you can select here in the pivot chart and pivot table at the same time. But I just simply select pivot table. But I could go to here, then select pivot chart and pivot table. Okay, but you can do it later always because pivot table is there. Then you can easily insert pivot chart right here because it's on the Analyze tab. Pivot chart is right there. Okay, then you click it, then you select whatever chart type. In this example, we have line chart, so I'm going to select line. There you go. That's my pivot chart. Okay. Then one thing it says is for sum of sale, adjust the number format currency, no decimal places. Meaning right here, sum of sale, make sure it is currency, no decimal places. Looks fine. If it's not, then you just go to sum of sales right here. Then you click value field settings right here, the last one. Then you see the number format. Then adjust whatever needs to be. Should be, okay, let's just do it accounting. Or currency, right? Currency. Or decimal places. Okay. Then click OK. All right. All right. So that's how you're going to create a pivot table at the same time with pivot charts. And there you go. Next one. Take it a little too big, right? Step 4, another pivot chart is a screenshot, right? So we're going to go back to Kane Smart. So from here, we're going to create a pivot table, insert. This time only pivot table looks like, so I'm going to go ahead and click pivot table. Then we're going to create a pivot table into new worksheets as product group statistics, right? So make sure it is new worksheets, click OK. Then name it as a product group stats. Okay. Then we're going to do the sum and average sales categories by product group and the year. But we can always look up here, right? Right there, right? So we're going to introduce product group, the year sales again. And then we check these sections, right? The section we have is rows, product group, good. Value section, sum of sales. The year actually goes right here in the column. So I'm going to just click and drag over 2 columns at the top so that my year stays at the top, right? So only thing lack of here is average sales, right? We have sum of sales is there, but average sales is not there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag sales one more time to value section so that I can use this one as an average this time. So to change this to average, I'm going to click on sum of average, sales number 2, click value field settings, then make sure it is average in terms of calculation. Then I'll also just change this rather label, average of sales, then click OK. All right. Yeah. I think it looks good. As you can see, I have all those products. Then I have sum of sales for 2015 through 2018, and also have total and average. Okay. So that's step 4. Step 5, then move to round up. Here. Okay, so now introduce average if, sum if, count if function. Okay, so idea is we're going to still use this data from K-Smart. Okay, K-Smart has each product group, as you can see, column A. So for each product group, we're going to find total amount of the sale for houseware. Same thing, average sales for housewares. How many housewares you can find the K-Smart. So that's what we're going to do. To do that, well, you can do it manually, but count if, sum if, count if, sum if, average will do very quickly. Okay, so that's the idea. So here we go. The syntax is equals sum if, because we're going to do the total, sum if. Then we're going to go to K-Smart. So because we're dealing with product groups, I'm going to select column A at the top. So I don't have to select like A2 through A300, whatever. Okay. Then the second variable will be which product group you're talking about. So you either type it in sporting, housewares, gardening, one of those, or you can just select the cell containing the product name. So in this case, I'd rather just use that cell containing product name, which is in this table. So I simply select houseware so that Excel recognizes this is for the housewares. Okay, there you go. 0. I think I'm not doing housewares. Okay, 2. What's wrong with this? Housewares include, my bad. I was thinking about count if. It's not count if, because sum if requires one more variable. Okay, so comma, then I need to select actual sales column from K-Smart, which is right there, right? There. Okay. If it was count if, you need only 2 variables, because it's sum if, you need to have that column, which is product group. Then you need to select which product, in this case housewares. Then you need to have a what column to find or to calculate the total, which is sales, which is column E. Right? So that's the syntax for the count if. Then rest of the column I'm going to just autofill, just like that. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about the data format. So I'm not going to change to $sign and all that. So I'm just focused on the functions. So next, average if, same, same syntax. So I'm going to go back to K-Smart, select column A, comma, back to roundup, select houseware, which is cell A2, comma, then back to K-Smart, I'm going to select column E, which is sales amount. So coming out as 42,000, whatever. The rest of the column, just like that. Okay. And here's the syntax for that function. Then last one is count if. Simply count the number of housewares. So you only need 2 variables in this example. So count if, back to K-Smart, select column A, comma, back to roundup. Then I'm going to select cell A2. Then comes up as 73. And rest of the column will have exactly same function, just like that. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Yeah, I think recording looks good. All right. All right. Then step 7, we'll go to association this time. So association worksheet has student information like student ID all the way to K, which is financial aids. Right? So the step 7 says create an Excel table and name it as student group. Okay, so I'm going to just click insert table and make sure you are selecting this time specifically says A1 through K31. Make sure K1, K31 is selected. Click OK. Then we're going to name this as student group. This table, name it as student group. There you go. So that I can use this entire area as student group rather than A1 through K something, K31. Okay. All right. Row 32, enter record for yourself using some arbitrary number or arbitrary data, meaning that just go to at the bottom, just enter some random, it's not really random, but arbitrary data using your name. And rest of it, I'm going to just copy so that I can make it quicker. Oops. By the way, this column, I made it void random between functions so that I can create some random number. All right. So I did that. So that's step 7. Step 8. Now this time we're going to use HLOOKUP function. HLOOKUP is exactly the same as VLOOKUP. Only difference is your data set is arranged in horizontal way rather than vertical. So if you see the lookup table itself, you see that it's organized to horizontally rather than vertical. So that's why we're going to use HLOOKUP. So based on the post-secondary the year and base rate. So whatever between this, you get 15. And between there, you get 15.25. So that's the rate you're going to get. And that we're going to enter in cell column E. Base rate is determined by post-secondary year. Looks like it's the education, right? So we're going to use HLOOKUP. So I'm going to select D2, comma. Before I do that, I think I should have state this creating lookup range in the beginning, right? Because you can easily mistake like I do, right? So idea is you need to create this lookup range rate table, meaning you're going to name this table as rate table. Okay, this table. So I'm going to highlight only the data, not entire area. Okay, only the data or table containing, numbers. So I'm going to just go to name box right here, not the table, but name box right here. They name it as rate table, one word, so that this area now becomes rate table rather than N14 to whatever. Okay. See that? So I have 3 items created: student group, item sale, rate table. For example, if I click this name table, drop down name box, then I'm going to select rate table. So you're going to highlight this area. Okay. So now I create this area. It's just like a range name, so that I use this into my HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP D2, comma, rate, whatever. Trying to type it in, then it will show whatever possible name. So I'm going to double click rate. You can keep it typed all the way, but I can always double click this rate table because it's quicker. Comma, then row number. We have 2 rows, row 1, row 2. So I need to select row 2 to be returned. Then last variable, whether it is true or false. This is true because there are more than one returning values or possibilities, right? Because this is not one-to-one match. Meaning, if you see right here, so 2-year, you have 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, 3 different possibilities. So that's why it is true. Same thing, 7, 8, then you're going to get 17.5. So it's not really exactly one-to-one match, so that we say this is case of approximate match. Then we're going to enter true at the end, just like this. Okay. So that's your HLOOKUP function. Then there's the results. It's going to return 16.5, whatever those rate based on this table, as you can see. Okay. All right. Step 9 at this time. What are we going to do? We're going to do pivot chart this time. One more pivot chart. So we're going to go to stay in association. This association. Yeah, looks like. Association. Based on association, right? I think numbering is wrong here, so that's why I'm a little confused. So watch out for that. I think my numbering is off to 9, 9, right? Okay. Pivot. So based on these worksheets, then we're going to create a pivot chart into pivot chart worksheets right here. Okay. So click insert from the association worksheets, pivot chart. Then we're going to create the existing worksheets this time. Where? Right here in pivot chart worksheets at the top. Then I'm going to click OK. There. So this is table, pivot table, and this is pivot charts, comes with it. So anytime you're going to create a pivot chart from the beginning, then it also comes with pivot table. So it's same thing, just create a pivot table, insert pivot chart, or vice versa. Okay. All right. So what we're going to deal with here, so now let's look up the screenshot. So it looks like into pivot table, we're going to use age, right? Class, elected. However, look at the screenshot. You also need to select something. Oh, student ID. Because it's limited, screen space, the student ID is not selected. Okay. But if you go to 9, here, age ID is also mentioned. So make sure you select that. Student ID right there. What is this? Student ID is, I'm going to move to here because that's, as you can see right here, student IDs goes to page X. Now I'm going to organize this like that. So my class into row section, followed by elected. Then I have average of age. So I'm going to change the sum of age to average from here. Now count of student ID, good. Count of student ID, good. Then values is still there. So let's check whether they are exactly the same. Other than decimal places, I think it looks good. Okay. So how to adjust the decimal places? That's the average, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click average age, average of age. Then I'm going to click value field setting. Then I'm going to go to number format right here. Then click number. Make sure there's no decimal place, right? There. And also it's something to do, I think it's also talk about hide all buttons from the pivot chart, meaning that so that this chart is clean without any extra stuff, but my chart right here, as you can see, I got some other stuff. That's what they call buttons or extra objects. So I'm going to just actually right click on them. Then you see the hide all field buttons. So you're going to hide them so that you have clean chart just like that. So a little bit close. Okay. And one more thing. Here, this is what we call slicer. So one of the objects you can create on worksheets. So we're going to create a grad student and elected. So I think it's coming from association. So from association, insert, slicers in the toolbar right here. Grad student and elected. Those two items are selected. Wait a minute. I think I can select it from here. Can I select it from here? Yeah, I think so. So from here, where's my slicer? There you go. Insert slicer. Yeah, I can move from association by just directly create from here so that I can put it under my pivot table. So that's my idea. Grad elected. There you go. Grad students first. So I'm going to move up over here just like that. Then I'm going to squeeze in elected. Maybe a little bit too big. So just the size, as you can see. Actually, I have two columns. So I'm going to select first, slicer, then go to toolbar, make the column 2. Same thing, elected, make the column 2. So look exactly like a slicer. Maybe too high. Make it just like that. right? Identical. So what's the use of this slicer? So I can try to select these buttons on slicer. As you can see, click yes or no. As you click, see the number change and chart changes. See that? So that's the idea of using slicers. Just like you see in those fancy, dashboard in the market. But Excel can do some basic stuff, just like this. All right. So that was step 9. Step 10. Oh, step 10, I had it slicers and all that. Good. Step 12. Let's just keep it as 12. That's fine. Step 12. Now we're going to fill out this those summary statistics, okay? And using subtotal function. Okay, idea of using subtotal function is because we have filtered data and pivot table and chart and also slicers coming from other worksheets, regular sum function or average function would not work. Okay, so that's why we need to use subtotal function so that this filtered or selected data can be shown correctly. Okay, so we're going to use subtotal function with count function here. And this is our financial aids, right? So I need to select student group and financial aids. And same thing, financial aid. Age. So that's something I missed. Okay, I need to show which column they're referring to. Age. There you go. Bracket. Okay, there you go. Now it's more like it. All right. I think I covered up to cover pretty much, yeah. And the other one, let's go back. So working with multiple worksheets. So I'm going to use this flip example. See what kind of data file we have. There you go. All right, so idea of this exercise. So we have summary worksheets. So then we're going to consolidate those worksheets from January to December. January to December has exactly the same structure as you can see. January, February, all the way to December has whatever different type of cars, then forecast for the rental, actual number of rentals went out, difference between actual and forecast, and what's the percent change between change from difference out of forecast. Okay. So let's work from January to December first. Then later on, we're gonna just add them up to these worksheets. Okay. So idea is you need to group them at the same time, January to December. So I'm gonna press Shift and hold it on your keyboard. Then while you're holding it, I'm gonna click December so that those January to December sheets are selected at the same time. In other words, a group. Then I'm going to work on whatever the difference equals actual minus forecast, and rest of the column. Then what's the percent change? Actually, I want to keep this format, which is underlined. Oh, I'll deal with it later. Okay, percent change meaning whatever difference out of forecast, right? Then let's make it as percent, 2 decimal places, rest of the column. And same thing with total revenue, so we need to apply sum function, right? Sum of those, and all the way to difference. I have a percent change must be calculated, so take whatever difference divided by forecast. And make sure it is percent, 2 decimal places. Okay, so even though we just apply once, and this should, affect it all the way to December, right? So I'm going to click December and see what happens. There you go, December has been taken care of. But thing is, like I said, I want to still keep this underlined right above total revenue. Okay. All right, so we got that part. Now we're going to go back to summary so that we're going to add them up to these worksheets, right? So starting from B5, meaning I'm going to add all this same B5, January to December, okay? So rather than doing it like adding, that plus go to February, that plus March. I don't want to do this, right? You don't want to do this. You want to do it at once by grouping, okay? So starting from B5 in summary equals sum and parentheses. Right after opening parentheses, you're going to click January, okay? Press Shift and hold it. Then you click December, so make sure January to December are selected as a group. Then you're going to click B5. And if you look up this formula bar right here, it will show exactly what you have. So it must show January to December and B5. This is what you want to get, okay? Rather than adding 12 different times. There you go. Okay, so this must show in your summary worksheets. And let me try again. This time B6, okay, equals sum, opening parenthesis. I'm going to click January, then press Shift on your keyboard, and at the same time click December, and then let it go. Then I'm going to click B6. Press enter. Okay. So beauty of this is you can just autofill across and autofill downwards and all the way. Okay. However, you must calculate percent. Okay. If you just do autofill, that's not going to work because you are adding percentage, but you still have to calculate percentage. Okay. So from here, you need to calculate it, taking difference divided by forecast. 10% style, 2 decimal places, and all the way down. And here we go. The formula view. All right. So that's it for this kind of working with multiple worksheets. All right. So any questions, comments? And we have, of course, the others first setup kind of sample. You can try it yourself. And if you have questions, you can let me know. I can help you out. But it's almost same as the other one. So, are we good?